After he received a call that he had violated his probation, Martin hopped into his car, left his home, and what happened next would be too much for one agent to handle. Now, we talked to those customers at that convenience store, and they tell CBS 6 that they are scared now every day for their lives.
Working for you, CBS 6 News at noon starts with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news from the nation's highest court. The U.S. Supreme Court has set a date to hear the appeal of former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell on corruption charges. McDonnell was sentenced to 2 years in prison, but last August, the Supreme Court granted an emergency motion allowing him to stay out of jail while the justices considered whether to take up the case. The court will hear the appeal next month on April 27th.
Yesterday at a busy intersection in Richmond, this Exxon station was robbed and surveillance cameras caught the image of the suspect. Now, Chesterfield police have confirmed that the threat was not credible and no charges have been filed at this time. Working for you in Chesterfield, Juston Hugue, CBS 6 News.
Developing now out of Petersburg, a change in leadership. The city manager, William Johnson, has been fired, and city attorney Brian Telfair has resigned following the recent problems in the city. It's back to the campaign trail for the Republican candidates after their 11th debate last night. At times, it seemed as though the debate was more of a screaming match as the candidates went after one another personally and professionally. Ben Carson chose not to take part in this face-off, and as Craig Boswell reports, may soon announce the suspension of his campaign. Now, if you have any information on this robbery, you are urged to call Henrico Police at 501-5000. Working for you in Henrico, Juston Hugue, CBS 6 News. Chief of Police Durham is asking for his officers to interact, which is giving a more personal feel. Two of his officers, Campbell and Griffith, are answering that call. Working for you in Richmond, Juston Hugue, CBS 6 News.
If he keeps going like this, he's going to hurt somebody. You know, he's definitely brave. He's not worried.
In this store surveillance video, you see the suspect dressed in a hoodie and wearing a mask walk into the Brothers convenience store on East 9 Mile Road. The robber points a gun at the clerk, grabs cash out of a box, then the gunman takes off. In another clip, you see the same gunman, this time wearing a purple jacket, waiting behind a customer in line. He cuts in front of the man, flashing his weapon at the clerk. The suspect gets away with cash again. Kevin Lewis lives behind the store, and he tells CBS 6 he got here moments before the robbery happened.
I was coming to the store just to pick something up. I just seen all the cops and everything that was going on. I heard the place got robbed, so yeah, I mean, it happens all the time, so I mean, I really wasn't surprised that it happened.
Now, we talked to those customers at that convenience store, and they tell CBS 6 that they are scared now every day for their lives.
And I think it's sad for the customers having to worry about coming into a store and wondering if somebody's going to come in behind them and rob them or kill them.
Now, if you have any information on this robbery, you are urged to call Henrico Police at 501-5000. Working for you in Henrico, Juston Hugue, CBS 6 News.
Yesterday at a busy intersection in Richmond, this Exxon station was robbed and surveillance cameras caught the image of the suspect. Around 12:30 Saturday afternoon, a white male with a gun robbed this Circle K at the intersection of Broad and Boulevard. Customers say it's hard to comprehend why the suspect would do this in the middle of the day.
I can't really say. I mean, he's just bold. I mean, people don't care. That's the scary part. That's the dangerous part. They just don't care. They want what they want for whatever reason, and they take it.
Richmond detectives believe this robbery is connected to a string of robberies that have recently occurred from Richmond to Washington, D.C. Retired Police Chief Steve Neal finds this unusual.
One of the things I found interesting, a crime like this, normally if a person robs a place like a gas station, it's usually going to be a local offender. Oftentimes when you find serial crimes that are over a distance, like up and down the East Coast, it'll generally be something that's more significant, like a bank robbery.
There were no injuries and the suspect did flee the scene on foot. But more information given to Crime Stoppers at 780-1000 on this case is extremely valuable.
When they're investigating any crime, the more details they have, the better off they're going to be. So even something that maybe the general public might think is minute or something that really is not significant, that might be the piece that ties it all together.
Working for you in Richmond, Juston Hugue, CBS 6 News.
A lot of parents did not send their kids to Thomasdale High School today after a threat was made last night on social media.
I was worried, do I send my child to school? That's your worst nightmare, to think of something like that happening. So, I just was wanting to find out more information.
Amy Meadows, a concerned Thomasdale parent, said she could not believe what she saw on the news.
That there had been a threat made at Thomasdale for a shooting, a possible shooting.
Meadows says there was no communication from the school to the parents.
And asked to speak to one of the administrators, and I spoke to them, and he was very kind, very understanding, and I love Chesterfield County Schools. I don't have any problem with them, but this one particular thing, I told him I felt like there should have been something more proactive for the parents.
Nicholas Loving, a Thomasdale student, said barely anyone showed up to class, and those who did show up wanted to leave.
But I know a lot of kids were talking about it this morning, saying how, like, oh, I'm going to call my mom and tell her to come pick me up because I'm not dying today.
Now, Chesterfield police have confirmed that the threat was not credible, and no charges have been filed at this time. Working for you in Chesterfield, Juston Hugue, CBS 6 News.
Texting and driving is so dangerous, and it kills. It kills.
Oh, say, can't you see the road while you're texting and driving? This 4th of July, Minister Tracy Whitlock is on a mission that brings life to the community through a block party.
That's why we all come together, and it's a huge block party, as you can see, with so many different live bands that's going to be entertaining tonight. So come out and have some fun with us. This is very serious, and our goal is to save lives.
9 years ago, Whitlock was involved in an accident where he suffered a broken neck. The driver was texting, and Whitlock was the only survivor. In 2012, Whitlock's niece, Tori Thaniel, died in an accident on Chippenham Parkway, and 3 years later, the pain is still sharp.
It still cuts like a knife, and I have my good days and my bad days. And we talk about it a lot with my family. We get together and just counsel one another.
And while the focus may primarily be on an older age group, the younger generation is learning a lot by being at this block party today.
I learned that, when you text and drive, you don't have full focus on the road, so that can cause people to get in bad accidents.
So on this Independence Day, Whitlock's message does not sound like a text alert, but it should grab your attention.
Texting and driving is not good, and we still see people doing it today. The law is not tough enough, and I'm going to keep on fighting and fighting till we can toughen that bill because it needs to be banned.
I mean, little kids playing baseball in the park, how could you not want to play with them?
Recently, police officers have been no strangers to cell phone cameras. Ordinary people capture police activity on their cell phones, and these videos have sparked national conversation about the officers in blue. And this video taken on Saturday in Forest Park is continuing that conversation.
The police start interacting with the kids. The first female cop, struck Tyon out. Then the second male cop, when Tyon hit it, he smacked the ball so hard, it hit him.
After receiving a call of service, officers Campbell and Carrie Griffith joined a birthday party in Forest Park, where it was time to play ball.
We thought it was very appropriate for Officer Campbell to take one in the chest from the little guy. He had a great line drive, and just prior to that, we weren't pitching too well, so it was really good to see him connect with that ball.
Jamar Law, the owner of the video, had a nostalgic moment and was not surprised seeing cops playing with Tyon, his nephew, because Jamar is familiar with it.
Yeah, growing up, a lot of the police officers interacted with us, and nowadays the youth don't have that because they're scared of police. People put in their minds like the police are the bad guy.
And if you are wondering if it was staged, the officers didn't even know their game would be broadcasted.
It's kind of funny because we were shocked this morning when we found out. We had no idea we were being videoed. We saw the dad, we talked to him, we saw the kids, we talked to them, talked to other people at the birthday party, but it's just one of those things. I mean, it was nice to be, it's very nice to be in a positive.
By making this video, Jamar wanted to share a golden rule that he will share with his own children.
We need to, bridge the gap between, police and black youth. Growing up as a black male, it's already hard, and being educated, it gets harder. So we just have to teach the youth, respect the police officers that respect us.
And as for the officers, they just saw it as being a part of their job.
Community, I mean, that's part of our policy here in the Richmond Police Department. Community policing, being involved, and it's an opportunity where we could just get right involved and have some fun, make some kids, pretty happy on their special day.
Chief of Police Durham is asking for his officers to interact, which is giving a more personal feel. 2 of his officers, Campbell and Griffith, are answering that call. Working for you in Richmond, Juston Hugue, CBS 6 News.